Hey, what's up, guys? I'm using my old camera. Why? Because I don't know. I don't know. Fuck you, I am. That's what I'm doing. Anyways, here's my review of Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. Okay? And, this is actually my copy from the Scream Factory box set, which this is not a review of, but there will be a review very soon because I love it. Anywho, just like with Halloween 3, I just want to like things. You know what I mean? Like, I like Friday the 13th, I like Jason Voorhees, and I want to like movies. You know? So just like with Halloween 3, I like Michael Myers, and I like to like things. That being said, it just ain't that good, bud. I have seen this multiple times. Halloween 3, I only watched once. By the way, you guys mind if I just chow down on some za while I'm at it? Look at that, look at that. Fucking, yeah. It's kind of, it's a little one. Anyways, though, um, I have seen this multiple times. Halloween 3, I only watched once, and then again for the video. This I've seen about 3 or 4 times. Not as much as the other ones. The other ones I've like watched like 20, you know. But I've seen this one about 3 or 4 times. And listen, I don't hate it. I actually like a lot of the things from it. If you watch my video talking about how the entire Jason franchise is one connected thing, it's kind of built on that. You know, all on this movie. Because it's honestly the really the not the only one obviously, but like besides the first movie, it's the only one that really says like, hey, let's do lore. All the others are just like, hey, let's do stuff. So anyways, I don't hate it. But it really just ain't a good time. It's alright, but it's definitely like in the bottom like 3, I'd have to say. And I had hope because I knew there was like an unrated cut. And there are some cuts out there of movies. I brought up Halloween. Y'all know if you watch Halloween, there's some cuts of their movies that like either make or break a film. I'm looking at you, the Cush of Michael Myers. I'm looking at you, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Mm. So there's definitely some. But with this, I think I saw maybe one or maybe 2 differences. I really couldn't see hardly any differences at all. Hey, meow meow. It was just kind of one scene was like slightly extended, and then there's a bit where a lady gets her head smashed in a door, and I don't think we saw that in the original. I'm not exactly rushing back to, rewatch the original to see, but I don't think we saw that. I think the Jason design is pretty cool. If you like how they did like the kind of mutated, grotesque, mask kind of melted into the face look, it's pretty cool. But I don't know. I think it was just an alright movie. And then like the biggest thing is like everybody says I'm definitely not the first one to say this, but Jason totally in the movie. You know, you give us this cool, admittedly pretty decent, cool looking Jason, because you got to think this is meant to be like part 9, so it's right after 8, and you got like melted up in 8 and stuff like that. Which, if you've heard my whole theory on that, then you've heard my whole theory on that. Basically, in 8, when he gets like melted in the sewers and stuff like that, and he turns into a little boy, that's not actually happening. That's like the sewer, like fumes and stuff like that is like intoxicating their minds and making them see them, making them see him how he is. Because otherwise it's just stupid. Like, if he actually turned into a little boy, then that's just stupid. And if that's what the director actually intended, then you're stupid, you know? I don't like that. But anyways, hold on. There you go. Would kitty like bite? Anyway, so, yeah, 9 is actually pretty decent. It's got some good action. Got some pretty good kills. Like, there's some brutal shit in there. Speaking of brutal shit, you want to talk about, like, brutal shit? There's the one scene where the guy melts. Like, they just straight up said, like, hey, you know that one scene in RoboCop? Let's do that. And, like, there's this guy who, like, fucking melts to death. While he's alive, mind you. Because of, like, Jasson's evilness. And I'm like, holy shit, man. That is wild. And then there's, I might be a hot take. I actually kind of like the body swapping gimmick. You know, it kind of lets, like, you know, a couple different people. Because in that movie, Kane Hodder played Jasson, but, you know, this guy played this guy, and that guy played that guy, and, you know. I do kind of wish we would have seen Jasson take the body of a girl. That would have been awesome, you know. Even if it was, like, for, like, you know, 5% of the movie, we could have had, like, female Jasson. That would have been right ass. But that's whatever. There's a lot to like about it, but you gotta know how to like it. You know, it is not a good movie. It is cheesy. It is schlock. It is garbage. But I am a scavenger. You like how I worked that name in? And I don't know, man. I don't know what it is about me, but I just like bad movies. I'm sorry. And bad, you know, games. I'm a proud defender. Even though I'm saying, like, Jasson Goes to Hell is a bad movie, it is. I am a proud defender. You will not talk shit about my Jasson Goes to Hell. I mean, you will. I will, too. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm still going to enjoy it. I've still seen this movie, like, 4 or 5 times or something like that. I don't actually know. I love the DMC reboot. I'm not crazy about the story, but everything else around it, I love the DMC reboot. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. Not ironically, not retroflectively. I love Shadow the Hedgehog on PS2. Not even GameCube. That's right, I'm raw dogging it. On PS2. Because I like bad things. Sue me. You gotta sue this pizza, man. Called it a sexual assault the way it busted in my mouth. What the fuck? I don't know, I just felt like saying something wild and out of pocket. Anyways, though. I really was hoping. I was holding out hope. I was like, you know, the real movies, the unrated cut. Y'all, I didn't see, like, hardly a single thing. Like I said, I think there's one scene where, like, maybe in the original you don't see a girl's head get slammed in the door. And then maybe the body melting scene is extended? I don't remember. That one might be extended. Because I distinctly remember seeing, like, this movie, like, this most recent rewatch. I was like, oh wow, his jaw's on the floor. Which that might happen in the original. I might be having an unk moment. But I don't know. But yeah, Now, this particular cut of the film, not cut, but like transfer, is beautiful. You know? And I like all of the characters. You know, this is one of those movies where I don't necessarily remember their names because I'm really bad with names. Like, I don't even remember the first girl's name from like movie number 1. You know? I think it might be Christy? Maybe? I don't know. But I remember every single character. If you told me to name off the characters from part 2 that I remember, you know, again, I want to be able to name them off. I'd maybe be able to tell you like 3 or 4. I remember the main guy who like runs the camp in number 2. I remember the girl whose car breaks down. I remember the guy in the wheelchair. And I remember the one that survives by the moral of the second movie is drink at a bar all night because he's the only one that survives. And then I remember some questionable dialogue where they talk about mental, like Jasson's mental state and stuff like that, which has not dated so well. But like, it was the 80s, you know, what are you gonna do? Meow meow, come back. You're cute. You're bringing in the views, man. I can tell you every single character from this movie. There's the 2 security guards. Kane Hodder plays one of them. Fun fact. You know, who's like, Jasson's just a pussy. There's the guy who gets killed at the beginning. There's the lady from the beginning of the movie. Jasson himself. There's the black guy, who's actually really cool. He was like legit my favorite Jasson. You know, as far as like alternate Jassons, the different bodies he jumped into. He got that dog in him. He got that dog in him. You know, second only to like, no, he's still first. I'm saying like, right behind him would be the really piece of shit boyfriend who like runs the news station, because he got that in him, you know. Like the black guy, he had that dog, and that dog is like a a Beethoven dog, whatever you fucking call those. You know, where you see like Cujo, like Beethoven. Are those the same type of dog, Cujo and Beethoven? Ferdinand. Ferdinand? What the fuck am I trying to say? I don't know fucking dogs. What are you, fucking dogologist? Beethoven. It's the Beethoven dog. And then the other guy, the douchey boyfriend, got that dog in him, and it's a fucking chihuahua, you know? But like evil chihuahua from hell, like, you know, that one you see with like the red eyes. So different dogs. This movie also has the gay guy from American Horror Story, so that's kind of interesting. You know, it's kind of like the Leonardo DiCaprio. Just I know that guy. You know. So that's kind of interesting. And then well, you got the lady he's dating, who I can't fucking stand. You know, she's so annoying. She's so aggro all the time. Like the whole movie, she's just like being fucking aggressive. And there's people out there. That's what makes me the maddest about her. That's why I like her like the least, is because I know people like that. Unfortunately, I interact with people like that. Unfortunately, but you know, whatever. Creighton Duke, man. Creighton Duke fucking shows up. What a crazy. Also, clearly I'm not the only one who likes Creighton Duke, because ... You got this movie, which is a fan film, and it's alright, you know. But I had no idea what I was getting in for with this movie. I had no idea what it was going to be like, who it was going to have. I just knew it was like after 7, which it is. But you have like a fan favorite, Creighton Duke show up in that movie. And he's played by this one guy who I don't know the name of, because again, I don't know names. I'm very bad with names. Like, unless you were Jason Voorhees, or in this case, Creighton Duke. Because besides that one line about the girl in the pink dress, like, that's a really weird line. Besides that, he has established himself as a character. Like, Creighton Duke is part of the, lore and shit. And he's only in one movie. And I heard somebody say, like, in a video the other day, that the way he dies is lame because it's just a bear hug. I disagree, man. I wouldn't want to have seen him die in some super brutal way. I like him. I think the bear hug is great. Because he's literally, like, staring at Jasson as he dies, His last, like, breath is, like, I think he says, like, fuck you or something, Now, the movie does some whole other thing with making Jasson into a Deadite and all that. Which, again, shameless plug right here. Watch my other video. Or maybe right here. Watch my other video. But, that's neither here nor there. And they don't really go anywhere with it in the future. It's just kind of like established once and then never again. Which, I like that. I wouldn't have wanted it to be a permanent change. Hello, baby. Hello, hello. Boy, this video has a lot of dead air. Maybe I should have done it like my other one, where I'm like pointing stuff out as I watch the movie. Which I thought about while I was watching the movie. But then my Halloween 3 video got copyrighted, and that makes me scared. So now I don't know. I have gotten away with it. I got it, like my whole Tremors video. There's scenes where I'm straight up just like filming the TV like this. And I have gotten away with it, so it is possible. I gotta figure out like the little ins and outs, how can I get away with things? But seriously, check out Roseblood if you can. It's a pretty good movie. Has well, it's a fan film, so I'm not gonna be too harsh. But it has some of the acting of all time. And then there's a thing that I'm not gonna spoil. That's okay. But it's alright. 6 out of 10 as a movie, 3 out of 10 out of the whole franchise. But I will consider it part of the franchise, because, like, why not? The Friday the 13th lore is so fucking, like, all over the place anyways. Why not throw a couple fan films in there? I really want to get, Never Hike in the Snow, whatever Never Hike in the Snow 2 is called. It's like, it's like I don't know. I want to get all the fan films. I want to watch them. But my problem is that I want this. I want this in my hand. I want to be able to slot it in, right next to them and stuff like that. That's my problem. I don't want to just watch it online on my phone, But I want the actual DVD. But they know that I want the DVD, so they gonna charge that coin. I could watch it online for free. But if I want a little piece of plastic in my hand, it's gonna charge that coin. Well, anyways, just like with the Halloween 3 video, I went back, tried to give it a fresh pair of eyes. And in this case, I even like went to the quote unquote better version. That's kind of up to debate. Like, cause you know, of course, you got like your own personal taste and all that. So that's kind of up to debate. But you know, still just a middle of the road, um, just okay movie. I don't hate it. I actually, like I said, I really like the characters. I think the characters are the strongest. Maybe not in the whole series, but very, very strong. You know, I remember everyone. It's got distinct scenes. I really like the main guy, with the glasses, and like his friend who's the cop, and like the friend like really tries to help him out on multiple occasions, and he just completely fucks him over on multiple occasions. Like I don't know. I think it's good. You know, it's a very good movie. Anyways, I'll be off. I'll see you next time, guys. Me and Meow Meow, we have been scavengers, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.